Baltimore at Cincinnati. Cincinnati is now a 3.5-point favorite. Look, we discussed it on Sunday as one we should hit right away. It moved from 3. The stat I mentioned above from Brandon Anderson applies to this game, not the road part, but the fact that Cincinnati is a double-digit loser playing against a team that did not lose by double digits. The Ravens, I watched a lot of that game. Look, we had the Texans plus 9.5, plus 10. So we were invested in that Ravens-Texans game, and that defense was just incredibly, incredibly good. CJ Stroud he can only get better. He can't get worse. So the opportunity to look a little bit healthier against a Bengals defense that is not as good as the Ravens, great for him. But Cincinnati getting healthy, that's most important. And playing at home, I can see why this number moved. It's a wise guy play.
Yeah, it's just the public. I told you on Sunday, public will come in on the Ravens. If you go by the book, you would take Cincy there in that spot when they were -3. Now it's up to -3.5. I still don't hate it. I mean, it's definitely one of the books are like looking at you and they're just like, yeah, be a man, take that -3.5 because it does feel so much easier and better to take the Ravens there plus 3.5. So that's one of those. I don't know if we'll have it in our contest, but I'm hoping everyone listened to us and bet at the -3 because even yesterday it was still -3 at a lot of books. So to me, this is one of those we just hope it comes back down because in these divisional games, we see it time and time again. The spread really comes into factor. So last week's blowout with them and the Browns, we're gonna find out real quick if that was the rain that affected Joe Burrow, or is he really rusty and he just isn't in tune with this offense right now. But how could you not take that -3? It was just such a great number. So not as shocked at all on Tuesday here. It's -3.5.
Well, look, that's what happens though, right? Like in these games, especially with the public coming in on Sunday as it gets closer, they could be on the Ravens because of how good they looked and how bad the Bengals looked.
Yeah.
And these games almost always end up at a field goal. Always.
Yeah.
They do. They just do.
And I did a show yesterday. I did Green Dot Daily with Darren Ravel, who's like the most public better ever. And what I said, he was shaking his head the whole time. All these people are so mad at the Bengals. Anyone like him that bet on the Bengals last week are so bitter. That's who's going to be piling on this Ravens team. While people like us that faded the Bengals, we're super happy to come on the other side. And that's kind of what we talk about all the time. We're riding up and down. We're just going from one side to the other. And that's really how football is.
We're going to move like the waves in the ocean. I feel like that was a reference to a 1970s TV show called Alice and a waitress called Flo.
We got to give this stat real quick.
All right, go ahead.
Lamar Jackson, 5-0 ATS as a dog last 2 years. Baltimore, 18-3-1 as a dog against the spread last 22. So, going against the trend here, but I do believe that offense, Lamar didn't look right. And anytime they had a little bit of pressure, if you look at his numbers, anytime he got put off his spot, which wasn't a lot, right, from Houston, I think it was only 7 times they got pressure. I believe he only had 1 completion. So it is one of those where I do think the Bengals will be able to get to him. It won't be as easy as it was against Houston. And we'll see. Ravens are one of those teams that had a bunch of major injuries in week 1. So we'll see what happens this upcoming week with their offensive line.